Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we are at Flipping Houses for Rookies, and I'm Dealmaker Bill.
And I'm Pete the Rookie.
Plus.
Thank you, Bill. Closer and closer every time.
Yeah. Why is that?
I'm at step 9.5.
9.5.
9.5.
Yeah. So explain to those that haven't listened to other episodes.
Well, you know, when you embark on any activity, you want to see the whole thing in your little head. How are you going to wind up sipping mint juleps?
That can't happen with me because I don't have a little head. I got a big head.
And you imagine all these things in your big fat head.
There you go.
How much money you're going to make, and we're going to be rich, honey. We'll be living in Barbados. It's all going to be great. What does Bill tell you? Thank you very much. What's the next step?
Right.
So it's about 10. You know, you can break it down to maybe 10 steps. And I'm at 9.5 on the house. Signed the papers yesterday for the purchase and sales agreement on the renovation. You and I did. And it's just that much closer. Of course, you got to wait 2 months now.
Yeah.
For the closing.
It'll be
Yes,
sooner than
Peter,
that.
are you excited? This is a 6-month project. That emotion has been dragged for 6 months. It's like completely enthusiastic, spread out. But, you know, the check will be the check.
Yeah, but this 6 months is short because we were very fortunate. I shouldn't say very fortunate. It was calculated fortune. But we had the market on the house, 5 days?
Yeah.
13 or 15 showings.
That's right.
And a contract.
Yeah.
But that's because you did a very good job. You know, you paid attention to all the little details that I don't always pay attention to. And we staged the house. You know, which reminds me, we got to make sure we go back in and turn the heat down. Have you turned the heat down?
I thought of that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that has adjustment for night, day, but now that I saw that today, I haven't been in it for a couple of days. Like, okay.
Yeah, so we should go in.
Yeah.
So we had turned the heat up, so it was on 70 degrees. You know, when we first listed the first week or so, I turned the heat up. I make it very warm. Turn certain lights on. You know, make it very aesthetic, and it worked.
Yeah,
because we sold the house in 5 days. So well done. 9.5.
9.5. Wait.
Almost time for a check.
Almost. Now it's time to hey, that wasn't so bad. Let's do that again.
Oh, I've been kind of busting your chops for the last several weeks about where's your next deal.
That's right. Well, I've been a little distracted. It's just not even physically or time-wise, just mentally. Yeah. You know, besides doing this, doing that, but just your mind is so wrapped up in it. Yeah. It's hard to let go and think of something else when you're not used to this yet.
This is like having kids, Peter. Once you have one, it's all exciting. By the time you get to the third or fourth, it's not so exciting.
Yeah, I'm still on one. But I'm looking for two. Say, honey, what are we doing tonight? I mean, you want to write some more yellow letters.
Yes. All right, so we're on episode 35, Peter.
That's good.
35. And today's episode is called The 6 Tricks That Guarantee Success While Flipping Houses.
Okay.
The 6 Tricks That Guarantee Success.
And this is my reaction because I didn't know until I sat down just now and heard that. I swear to God. So,
right.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the 6 tips that guarantee success while flipping houses.
All right.
So I want to take a minute and explain because you always say, I just heard this title till just now.
Yeah.
The reason why we do that is because you're the rookie.
Plus.
and so the thing that we noticed early on was that I've been doing this for 10 years or 12 years. So a lot of times things that I think everybody should know, they don't know. Right?
As you can tell by the look on my face when you talk sometimes.
Yes.
That deer in the deer in the headlight look.
So
then you look at me like I'm crazy.
Right. Yeah, I do that for sure.
What?
I definitely do that for sure. So what happens is your job is to make sure that whatever it is that I'm talking about or whatever it is that is happening is from a perspective of someone that has never done this before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, messing around with my headphones here, so hang on. Okay, there we go. So your job is to make sure that it's a perspective of people that haven't done this before.
I'm the audience.
Right. So I want the show to be real. So it's not rehearsed. It's all ad-libbed. It's just Pete and I joking around.
You know what the note? Wait, do you have notes?
No.
No, that was he scribbled something on an envelope upstairs. That was your marketing plan for today. And I put my coffee on it. I thought it was something to catch the crumbs on the table. And right now we're sitting in front of a notepad and the title of the show.
Yeah, I keep track of all the titles. Yeah. So the what happened was the payroll guy came this morning. I changed payroll companies. So
by the way, Bill, I didn't get my check yet.
Yeah, you jerk. So
what check?
Yeah, the payroll company dropped off this book and it had this envelope, right? So you just took that out of your pocket. Oh,
there's 2 cough drops. They have such a bad memory. I take 2 out
and only eat one.
I don't know.
And
where
wonder where the other one came from.
Yeah,
that was good, Pete. Anyways, we're completely diverted here. So the payroll company came this morning and dropped off my payroll. So I'm at breakfast this morning having breakfast with my daughter who does all the technical stuff. Emma does all the technical stuff behind the scenes. And I told her that get ready because today she works today. She doesn't work on Fridays. So I was kind of, and I have a full schedule today, so I probably won't talk to her much other than text or something like that. So I was letting her know that when she comes back to work next week, the world, according to Bill, will be changed. So I drew out the sketch that I've been dreaming about for the last couple of days on the back of an envelope, and that's what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
A new marketing plan. So
I think I'll stay out of that one.
No, you're part of it, actually. We just haven't told you
marketing?
yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we just haven't told you yet. All right, good. So enough joking around. Let's get to the show.
New name of the show. It's called Keeping Up with Bill.
Yeah. I do want to say this. We have been making some technical changes because we've gotten some feedback about people wanting to reach us. At first, we didn't want that. I didn't want that because I didn't want to have a bombardation of. That's a word I made up.
You can do that.
Bombardation of people, whatever. Because I'm so busy doing already that I was concerned about that.
Yeah.
That's not working. They're finding me anyways. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we had a guy come all the way from Tennessee because he said he couldn't get a hold of me, so he drove all the way from Tennessee to Connecticut to be part of our meetup just to get in touch with us. So, Larry, thank you for that because you opened my eyes, and I will be forever grateful. If you're listening to the show, I haven't heard from you, call me. I have your number, but you should call me because I want to reward you for that enlightenment. So
it's
call
true.
me.
It's true, folks.
Yeah.
It actually happened.
Yeah.
I said to the wife, man, who's that guy helping Bill bring things into the meetup? I don't know, some guy. Larry from Chattanooga.
Brought me a bottle of whiskey, which was really good.
You didn't finish it, did you?
Hell no.
Because part of that's mine, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to come over.
I'm here.
Oh, you know what, Peter? We only drink that whiskey at the cigar shop on Friday nights.
I got no plans tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Donovan's going to come.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so to get a hold of us, here's what we've done. We've done 2 very significant things. One, we used to have you go to Flipping Houses. Excuse me, I got dust in my throat. Flipping Houses for Rookies at gmail.com. That email still works.
Yep.
But the email soon to be, or the email that's better, is going to be info@flippinghouses.club. So just type info@flippinghouses.club. If you have any questions about the show, you want to get a hold of us, anything like that, you can go there.
Suggestions, advice.
Yeah, whatever, yeah. Whether you like our jokes
Yeah, that
or don't.
info's... Yeah, we'll have a new...
Peter's looking for a fan club on his jokes. So if you like his jokes, send an email. We're voting.
We're going to get a new email. It's called jokes@flippinghouses.club.
I could do that if you want.
By the way, I'm not a comic. I'm a comedian.
Oh.
I don't have jokes. I just say stupid things once in a while.
Okay.
And people laugh because they feel bad.
The only thing I heard in that sentence was stupid.
Okay.
So the other thing is if you go to flippinghouses.club/podcast. All the podcasts are there, and there's links there to find other training if you want them. We've been releasing it slowly. It's actually not training, it's videos of what you and I do.
Yeah.
We also...
it's like live training. Like it's just, this is us doing it.
It's not training, it's over the shoulder. What we do is we film 90% of everything we do. So there's all kinds of stuff you can find in there. I mean, we've done renovations. We've done... Oh God, we recorded a closing once on
in the lawyer's office.
In the lawyer's office, how to fill out forms, how to talk to people, me making offers, me on the phone doing prospect suspect forms so you can hear them. There's a whole bunch of stuff there.
Yeah, well, you read about it, but you wonder, how does it really sound? What should I be serious? Should I be firm? Should I be friendly? Should I be funny? And you no one knows how to really do it until you hear Bill or do it, and then well, that's how it actually works.
Right.
You can read about it.
So it's all there. If you go to flippinghouses.club/podcast, you'll find it all there. As well as we just uploaded this week the prospect suspect form, because I've had a lot of requests for the prospect suspect form. So in other words, we're going to talk about that in a couple minutes here, but it's there so you can reach it. And sorry to take 5 minutes to do all this on the show, because this is not an advertisement, but I've had so many people request it that we have to just pay attention to it.
Yep.
We can't ignore them any longer, Peter.
Yeah, no, that's how everything you do does. We don't know where it's headed, but we just respond to people's requests and give them what they're interested in.
Right. And I'm glad to share the information. Even the stuff, like some of the information, is not expensive. So, I mean, we put it behind some membership stuff, but it's not expensive at all, comparatively speaking.
No.
I mean, I spent $50,000 on my education. My first house, I made $68,000. So, I mean, that helped a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the $50,000 was over the course of several years, and I just kept buying and flipping. And as I made the money, I paid for the training, and I just got better and better.
Yep.
But I will say, being completely arrogant, which I know how to do. I don't mean to, but it happens. Probably 50% of what I teach, 40 or 50% is what I learn. I took a lot of other people's courses, and I excelled with it, because I have my own talents. I'm a professional copywriter. I ran sales teams. I've trained dozens and dozens of salespeople, so I have a lot of sales training. And I just I have construction experience. I just have a weird background, and I've added to all those things and made it better. So even though my training has some, I have had training, I would say it's probably, I would say it's 40% or less.
But that's typical. Everybody does. All the gurus, they cite people that it doesn't drop out of the sky.
Right.
It's not like there's never been a house before in the world, so it's been going around. But you just take it to a different level.
Right.
And if I may add, usually you have to spend a huge chunk of money to get some training in this business. Huge chunk all at once. And I didn't think that was right, and you didn't think that was right. So if you want to learn something, you can take small pieces that are affordable and start and get going.
Well, evidence of that is we've got 35 podcasts, and every podcast I give away something.
Yeah.
Some part of the business.
Yeah.
You could just listen to the podcast and do something.
Oh, people have said that, sure.
All right. So here we go. The 6 tricks that guarantee success while flipping houses.
Will this sound familiar to me, having worked on a renovation or two with you?
So I'm gonna rattle them off first, and then we're gonna go back and cover them.
Okay.
Okay. So the first I call it. We actually did a workshop on this, which you can buy online now, and it's I called them modules, but I'm going to call them, what do I call them? Steps, I guess, or tricks. Let's just call them tricks.
Number one.
Trick number one is finding the time to do the business. That's the hardest part for anybody. Most people, not most, every person, every single person has a way that they're making money. Seldom, there are some people, we have some clients that the husband works or the wife works and they're able to take time off and just learn the business. But
right.
almost everybody, all the people I know, they have a source of income somehow. So they're working a job, they're whatever they're doing, right? And their time is jammed up.
That's right.
So the first thing that we got to figure out is how do you have time to do this business? So we're going to talk about that. And then It's not
Trick.
module. Trick
Number 2. I will now jump the horse off the cliff into the water.
Exactly. So now what you got to do is you got to figure out how to locate the hottest and most motivated sellers in your town or your area, and then go there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and we're going to talk about that. And then trick number 3 is how to handle the calls coming to you, the seller calls coming to you. And then trick number 4 is how to make offers that people just love, and they stick to you. And they actually they don't beg you, but they kind of start chasing you when you do it right.
Yep.
Okay. And then trick number 5 is finding the money.
Mm-hmm.
And trick number 6 is how to sell the property quickly.
I'm working on step 5.
How to find the money?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought you were working on step number 6 with our renovation, because now we're selling the property and we sold it quick.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh.
I'm backing up to step 5 because I didn't get the money on the last one. I tried a few things, didn't work out.
Oh, yeah.
But people are getting more. How's that house, Pete? Like, looks good, and yeah. So I have to go back and get some money now.
So you got to explain that. So what happened is I made Pete try to go get the money. He couldn't do it, so I ended
I
up
wanted it
using my
anyways.
private
You didn't
money
make
later.
me. Yeah. No, I tried a few people. It's kind of last minute and short. And sometimes they might want to do it, but the money's tied up in funds and this and that. And they need some more information and all that, and a presentation or something, which I didn't have at the time, but it exists, so we're going to use it.
So basically, it's a play on words, the 6 tricks to guarantee success. This is really the model of your business. This is the buy and sell real estate model.
So the trick is to use the model. Don't wing it.
Right. They're steps.
Yeah.
And they're sequentially placed in order. Right? So the reason for the steps is to realize that you have to go through 6 steps.
Yeah.
Or 6 chunks of your business, or 6 sections, or 6 procedures.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And there's
better
steps within them, but the
Right.
main 6 programs, projects,
Right.
parts.
So the first one in module 1 is finding the time. If you were to take, if you take 24 hours a day, right, and multiply it by 7, you know what number you get?
184?
Is it 184 or 168?
I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe 168. It's some good number. But while you're doing the math on it, you have a great question for me. Bill calls me up sometimes. Pete, what you doing? I got to run some errands. Got to go to the stores. I got to go here. Got to go there. And he goes, making any money doing that? Damn, Bill, I'm not watching TV. I'm doing my errands. I got to pick up vitamins for mommy, But you're right. You have to look at your schedule. This is just my little tip. You have to look at your schedule and ask yourself, are those things making you money?
Right.
And just take some of that. When I have a day off like Saturday, I spend the first half working on something. I call it working on me.
Uh-huh.
My wife has a 40-hour job, and she works like a dog. But when she comes home, there's another 40 hours. What are you going to do with that 40 hours? Why don't you take it and work for you?
Right.
Do something for you, not just watch TV or clean the house. Okay, good. But then what? Do something for you. Learn something. Read a book. Start a business. Work on this. But spend the time working like you work hard for your boss. Work hard for you.
Right.
That's my 2 cents.
All right. So that's good. That's good, Peter.
Well, it's just viewpoint. You making any money doing that?
Right.
How much you get? What'd you get?
So it's 168 hours.
Okay.
Okay. If you sleep 8 hours a night, that's 56.
That'd be nice.
Okay. You sleep in 8 hours.
Yeah.
So that leaves 112 hours a week.
Okay.
To your point, if you work a 40-hour-a-week job,
Mm-hmm.
right, that leaves you with how many hours? So what was it? So it's 168 minus how many hours of sleep? 7. Oh, Jesus. 7. So it's 8 times 7 is 56, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you take 168 hours and you minus 56 hours. That's 112.
Right.
Minus your 40-hour-week job, leaves you with 72 hours a week.
Right. Now, 20 or 30 of those is cooking, cleaning, shaving, whatever, right? You got to do that.
doesn't matter.
No, but
72
still,
hours
but it
is
still
enough
leaves,
to do, and leaves plenty of time.
It leaves, if half of that, and I don't say you got to work another full-time job, but there's plenty of hours.
So let's say, does it take 25 hours to feed kids and do laundry and go grocery shopping?
Well, maybe
30 hours.
Yeah.
So it still leaves. So even if it's another 40 hours, right?
Goof off 20 and work 20.
Right. Still leaves 32 hours.
Yeah. And what do I see on my Facebook feeds? My friends, they go to the casino.
Yeah.
They go dinner. They're smiling at a party. They're having fun. But what are they doing?
Right.
They're bitching at me about how tough things are and what they're complaining about.
Right.
When it's all over, they didn't accomplish anything. Still do that, believe me. We go have some fun, but that's
so
after
how
we do the
about
work.
this perspective? You're talking about points of view or viewpoints.
Yeah.
Right. How about this perspective? Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
This is a hard one. This is hard to confront. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump has the same 168 hours you do.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he different? Guy's 70 years old.
Yeah.
What made him different?
Mm.
It's his necessity level. What does he want? And it's his ability to focus and do what you're doing while you're doing it. That's huge. Do what you're doing while you're doing it. So when you're at your 40-hour-a-week job, do your 40-hour-a-week job. When you're with your kids, be with your kids.
Yeah.
When you're with your spouse, be with your spouse. When you're doing your real estate, do your real estate.
Yeah.
But there is no excuse. If you have a 40-hour-a-week job, you have 72 hours a week to juggle your family and a part-time job. And here's the best part, Peter. Here's the absolute best part.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many hours a week I think you need to start your real estate business?
I could guess, but what do you think?
Go ahead.
Oh, 10.
Okay. Yes. I was going to say 14.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the reason why.
I take the weekend off.
Yeah. There you go. That's what the problem is too many people do that, and then they bitch about they can't do the business.
I really don't.
Yeah. So here's my suggestion to anybody, and I have a whole thing on this. There's a whole module, show you how to do this, how to break it down, how to put it in your schedule, how to do time blocking. There's a whole thing.
Yep.
Okay, and you can get that online. Just go to flippinghouses.com, podcast, and you can find everything there, okay? If you want to. If not, just listen to this, and that's fine. Here's the magic. This is worth the whole show, okay? If you did 1 hour a day marketing and 1 hour a day talking to prospects, you would have a business. Now, in the beginning, you're not going to do 1 hour a day talking to prospects. The first week when you send out your mail or you print your postcards, you design your postcards, you're not going to have anybody to talk to.
Nope.
So you spend 2 hours a day doing your marketing. All right. So let's say you don't have 2 hours a day, or you think you don't have 2 hours a day. I just showed you we have 72 hours a week to do this. So I'm talking about 14 hours.
Right.
Okay. That leaves what, 50-something hours a week to spend with family and friends and everybody else. Yeah. This could be done. This is really possible if you paid attention. But let's say you're thick-headed and you don't think you don't believe me. Because
right.
I'm going to tell you right now, we did a show not too long ago. It's like the magic is in the math. That's where the magic is here. It's in the math. It's your hours. It's what you decide to do with your hours.
Oh, yeah,
and
this
what
is
you decide not to.
the math of the hours.
Yeah,
Ah.
right? So basically, if you don't believe me, then just do a half an hour a day in the morning. You're going to tell me that you can't, before you go to work, do a half an hour of marketing, and then at night spend a half an hour talking to somebody on the phone? You're doing that anyways.
Yep.
Instead of just sitting there drinking your coffee, reading a newspaper, do some marketing piece. Go online and build a postcard or put a flyer up in the grocery store or do banded signs or send letters. You know, I mean, the easiest thing in the world to do, Peter, the easiest thing in the world, and I don't even suggest this, I don't even talk about this in my marketing, but it could be done. Call a realtor and say, send me your expired listings, and every morning write somebody a letter. Thinking about buying your house. Can you call me?
Yep.
I mean, really?
Yep.
You would talk to somebody after a week. I mean, instead of reading a
reading a newspaper, write 3 letters. How long does it take to write 3 letters? 30 minutes?
No, gee, I hope not.
Exactly. You get a yellow notepad in your handwriting. Make sure it's legible, because some of us don't have legible handwriting. Make sure it's legible, and just write 3 letters a day. And your phone number.
Yeah. Stop watching commercials.
Yeah.
If you watch an hour TV, you get 20 minutes of dumbass commercials.
Right.
Write the damn letter.
Right.
I have a little, TV tray,
Yeah.
and I mail out postcards to my other business because I have postcards for that. Mary does her letters, however she doesn't, but I can sit there and write my postcards, then commercials, because I really don't really need the Prilosec commercial.
Right.
I just don't need it. So why am I staring at that? I don't.
Right. It's all decisions.
Yeah.
You have time to do this. Now, obviously, you're going to want to ramp things up and all that, and that's where I come in, all right? Because it's just you need to have some sort of a procedure. So at least if you did that, somebody would call you.
Yeah, but you know what the beauty of what you're telling people to do is? This is exactly what you told me to do a little over a year ago. It's the first step.
Yes.
It's the start. I was thinking, do I need a lawyer? Do I have what's an escrow account? Mary, get some business cards and wait a
need any
minute.
of that.
How do you put an LLC together? For what?
Yep.
What are you LLCing? So I actually had.
You asked me, well, I got to do that, and I'm like, yeah, you got to do that when you have a house
Yeah.
to buy.
Yeah. When you get
So when you get your first deal, the lawyer can whip all that stuff together for a few $100s and take it out of the proceeds of the deal.
Yeah, you think it takes a long time to do some of those things. It doesn't.
No.
It takes a long time to get a house if you sit around too long.
Right.
But within 10 days, I was in a house with you looking at it.
Right.
So the trick of what you're telling people to do is once you start, somebody calls you, there's something to do. You get a little excited.
Right.
Now, I have a trick to get people to do the first step when they're not excited, if you don't mind. Because I have to do this with my wife, because she's not as excited person as I am. I think about things, and I can envision it coming, and she's a bookkeeper.
Yep.
And for all you folks who have jobs, you work a week and you get the paycheck. Imagine working a month and not getting a paycheck. That's the real estate business. 3 months, and then you get a paycheck. Can you work 3 months without getting paid?
I do all the time, but most can't.
Yeah, well, that's real estate.
But when you make money, you make 3 months worth of money.
Yeah, it's spread out, but you have to have the gumption to sit there and just grind it out and work. And where's my paycheck? Well, you're not a grunt. You're an investor. You're a business person. It's a different viewpoint. But what I do with my wife is I have her think about, look, if we got some chunks of money in like we want, how would your life be different? What would you do with it? Oh, I would do this, I would do that, spend more time with granddad. You know all the things people say. Be free, time, freedom, I can do what I want, blah, blah, blah. Think of that and get off your butt. But think of the goal that will get you to start moving.
Yep. So the perspective here is, let's go on to Section 2.
Section 2.
Okay, which is locating the hottest and most motivated sellers in your area.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm not going to explain the whole thing because that's what I show you how to do that. But really, it's not that hard. If you were to just go to your realtor and ask them in your city or your area by zip code, however they do it. I mean, here it's just by city. I know the guys in Australia are a little bit different because they have counties and stuff like that. Other parts of the world, but just pick an area and have the realtor pull 12 months worth of sales.
Right.
Upload those 12 months worth of sales to a mapping system like Google, and it will pin the addresses.
And make little dots like pins?
Yeah. And you're going to notice that there's clumps of areas in your city that are hyper sales. Most of the sales are in a major clump. So I'm going to tell you right now, I've spent a lot of time and money, 30 years on marketing, and I'm going to tell you how to market right now. I'm going to give you an easy education on how to do your marketing. Ready? You've heard this so many times.
But I just keep listening.
Match your message to the market, and you will win. In other words, if there's a crowd of people that haven't eaten in 3 days, sell them hamburgers.
Get your burgers here.
Are they going to be? Do they have to be organic? Do they have to be grass fed? Do they have to be, with buns on them and not on them? Do they have to have all these special criteria? No, they haven't eaten in 3 days. Feed them the damn hamburger.
Yeah.
Does it matter how much they cost? No. Why? Because they haven't eaten in 3 days. It's your message. Your message is, I have food. The market is to hungry people.
Yeah.
If you match those two, it's magic. I've done that for you. My system shows you now. Now you have to. I get a little passionate about this. I had a partner, which I don't have anymore. We're still very good friends, but I don't have anymore. We were spending between $7,000 and $9,000 a month in marketing for several years. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's
in marketing.
still crazy to me.
Okay, I've tried a lot of stuff. Okay, what I've done is I've picked out of that the easiest and simplest and cheapest things to do, because when I went on my own, I didn't want to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? I'm giving those to you now. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn these things. If you don't want to do it, shut this damn podcast off and leave me alone.
But they sound too simple. They sound like, well, that's the cheap way out. That's the stupid way out. That's the beginner's way out. But I tell you, in any subject, when you finally learn it, it's all simple in the end. Any subject.
Yep. That's when you know you've become a pro.
Yeah.
Is when it becomes simple, you know you've become a pro.
Yeah, and that's why we look so dumb to Bill, because we go, what? And it's all simple because, you got it down to like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever.
Right. So one of the laws is just match. So I've matched your message with your market. So just go to a realtor, get 12 months worth of sales, pin it on a mapping software, right? Use Google. Go to Google and type in mapping softwares, and there's all kinds of stuff out there.
Ask your kids.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, when you find that area, those are people who want to sell houses.
They're already buying and selling houses because the realtor is getting their business.
Yeah. And so those are the people who want to sell houses. If they haven't, they want to.
Or buy houses.
Right. So when you send the letter, I want to buy your house.
Or put up a bandit sign.
In that area.
Or put a flyer in the convenience store window.
Yeah.
Or drop some business cards at the gas pumps.
Yeah.
Okay. Put a flyer inserted in a newspaper. Paint a billboard along the side of a curb. You want me to keep going? Postcards.
Yeah.
Draw a picture in the snow. I don't care what you do, but that's the place to put your message.
Yeah. But the market's there, and your message is, I want to buy your house, and they want to sell the house. It's that simple.
Now, here's the magic. By doing these two things, spending an hour a day doing that, and actually knowing where to go, people are going to call you. It is so different than you going out and looking for Peter. You going out and looking for Peter on the MLS, chasing MLS jobs or houses.
Yeah.
Because how is that? You're chasing those deals. A lot more time consuming. Now you're going to spend those 72 hours we're talking about, and you're going to end up with no deals. Now, I'm not telling you not to go on the MLS. I'm not telling you can't. There's a lot of investors that made a lot of money doing it that way. But I'm going to tell you, when you go up, that's amateur style. When you get up into the professional range that we're talking about, deals fall in your lap. I had one fall in my lap 2 days ago. I haven't even told you about it yet. I'm in heavy negotiation with a realtor right now. You want to know why? She's got a piece of property. I'm in a BNI group the other day, and a girl 2 seats down from me slides me a note under my nose. Do you lease houses? And I shake my head, yeah. I got to talk to you. She's selling a house, and she's buying a house.
Okay.
Her buyer had a mortgage broker that was not licensed. I don't know why anybody would do that. It has an FHA mortgage. In the United States, what happens with an FHA mortgage, which we're going to go through, you have to. Part of the FHA stipulation is they have to order a transcript of the taxes to make sure that the taxes are being paid.
Right.
Because they're a government agency, so one's going to protect the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the mortgage broker didn't do that, and they got 2 weeks before the mortgage commitment. In other words, they're clear to close. They were finalizing. They realized that the tax things hadn't come in. To find out she didn't file for taxes, and she owes taxes. Well, that doesn't mean anything with an FHA mortgage because you can owe taxes.
Yeah.
But you just got to have a 6-month period saying that you're paying them. So she could owe taxes and have a payment arrangement, but she's got to have it's got to be 6 month seasoned.
Yeah, so she's been handling it. She's not a liability.
So she just found out about the taxes and it's not seasoned.
And she wasn't paying, or the buyer wasn't paying.
The buyer.
The buyer had the power.
Yeah, the buyer.
Yeah, with the mortgage.
So now what happens is the people that are buying my friend's house, that deal just fell through. So because that deal fell through, she can't do her deal now. Because she's got somebody buying her house, and now she's going to go buy another house.
She's got to buy a house.
So this is a hat trick. There's 3 deals here that just fell apart.
Wait a minute, 3?
Yeah, it's a hat trick.
I know it's a hat trick, but I thought there were 2. What's the 3?
So
she's selling.
So the person she's selling her house.
Yeah.
So that means somebody has to buy the person that's buying her house. They have to buy her house.
Yeah.
She takes the money and buys my friend's house.
Yeah.
She takes that money and buys her new house.
I see. There's 3. Okay, got it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened?
See, that's me representing the audience who got lost with me, perhaps, or maybe I'm the dummy.
No. So what happens is they call me. Why? Because they got to sell a house.
Yeah.
Because the realtor knows me and I have a reputation, so it just falls in my lap. But that's because I'm out there all the time promoting that I'm a professional home buyer.
Yep.
And by the way, I not only have 3 offers for the original buyer, the first one on the chain, but I said to the realtor yesterday, don't worry about it. She goes, what do you mean? I said, we're keeping your deal together. She goes, what do you mean? I said, how much does your girl owe? The girl's name is Sarah. How much does Sarah owe on her house? Oh, she owns 100% on her house. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, well, if I can't make a deal with her buyer, don't worry about it because I'll just lease her house with an option to buy. And we'll give the bank documents and she could procure her loan and go buy her house. Oh my God, I never thought of that. So I'm going to keep it. So one way, I don't know which house I'm going to buy, but I'm going to buy one of them.
Oh.
I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
As long as the numbers work. I mean, I'm still working on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have to go. There's no money down. It's exactly my system.
Yeah.
And with realtors.
In the middle, that's the amazing thing. Even with realtors in the middle, you can do the deal.
Okay. So anyways, my point here in this long dissertation, we're way over time here, but people come to me. I don't go to them. Okay? Why is that? Because the only way you are going to make money in this business, and I promise you, the only way you will make money in this business is to make offers to motivated sellers. That is the only way anything will ever work. I don't care if you're a realtor. I don't care if you're Donald Trump. The only way you will make offers is to a motivated seller. Even if you're paying 20 times more than what the property's worth, you've motivated them to close because they're getting 20 times more than what it's worth. The only way to make money in real estate is to make offers to motivated sellers. So why are you, I just had this on a coaching call not too long ago. I got a student that's off and he's got all these weird deals. He keeps bringing me all these weird deals. Weird deal, and that's all I hear.
Yeah.
When he talks to me, I hear, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Finally, I'm like, dude, this is not how you do it. Why do you keep looking at property? Property has nothing to do with real estate. The property has nothing to do with the real estate. He's like, what are you talking about?
The property is the real estate, but
I've never had a house sign the deed.
That's right. Never had a house agree to sell the house and sell itself.
It's never signed a deed.
Yeah.
It's always people. So find people that are motivated so that they can give you the house.
You can always come up with a deal on the house.
Right.
You just work the numbers right. You can buy anything.
Right.
If the person isn't motivated, you can't buy anything.
The house is not sentient. It can't think. It can't write. It can't even move.
Yeah.
Until somebody says so.
Yep.
So find that somebody. So the trick is to not go look for the property. Go look for the motivated seller. And then have that conversation with him. It will cut a lot of aggravation, a lot of time, and it will make your dreams come true, I promise, because if you don't, you'll deal with suspects, and suspects are dream killers. They suck the life out of you. they make all those naysayers that say, those courses that you see, those infomercials never work. Yeah?
For you, they don't.
They work for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got started.
Yeah.
They may not be the end all be all, but they get you on the right path. Right?
All it has to be is right enough.
Yeah. Suspects suck the life out of you. So why not find prospects that are motivated and make those offers? And life changes. So the first two sections here, what are we talking about in step 1 and step 2? We're talking about getting the time set up so you can send letters, or send mail, or send a postcard, or send I don't care what you do. I mean, I have a whole bunch of things that work, which I'll share with you if you go online, or we will share it over the weeks or whatever. We definitely share them in the meetups. The live meetups are much different than the radio show. For those of you that listen to the podcast and don't come to the live meetup, you are missing a lot, because I release things in the meetup that I don't release on the podcast, because I think it's not fair to the people that spend their time and come there. The 30 or 40 people that come there should get something more than the podcast. So I make sure that we always give away things in the live meeting that you don't get on a podcast.
Well, you can be more practical live too. You can you draw on the board, you show examples, you go over stories. People come to the meetings, and you actually help them when they're trying to figure out how to do a deal.
They bring their deals there, and we structure the deals right in front of the room.
Yeah, it's more It's more hands-on, much more.
You get a lot more out of it. It's a lot more reality. And I give away forms, and people will ask me for stuff, and I just, here's my email, send it to me, and I'll give it to you.
And on the right night, you get donuts.
We always have donuts. We have a donut store in Wallingford that is to kill for. It's very well known. People come from all over for this donut store. Neil's Donuts. Look it up in Wallingford. Neil's Donuts in Wallingford. They may not even have a website. Who knows? They're that small. If
you're within driving distance, come see us at the meetup at 128 Center Street in Wallingford. Now, driving distance has now become as far as Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That's exactly right.
Now, anybody coming further than that will get a gift, of course.
Yes.
And that's our current driving distance.
So if you just go to meetup.com and type in Flipping Houses for Rookies, you can get all the information you want. But it is 128 Center Street in Wallingford, the third Wednesday of every month. Except for Christmas, we do it the second Wednesday. Point is that people come to me, and I sit at my desk, and I decide who and when I'm going to go talk to somebody. So that brings us to, what are we calling it? Oh, trick number 3. Okay? And that's where you learn how to handle the phone calls coming in. Now, you were talking about it earlier. What happens is I'm going to repeat what you said earlier so people can get it. So it depends on my marketing on how I handle it. Because I have noticed that certain types of marketing resonate more than other types of marketing. In other words, it's a message to media match.
Yeah.
Sometimes the message is more impingeful than other marketing. Let me give you an example. When I do direct mail, it's much more impingeful. I mean, the mail that I send, people call up and they actually think, and you know this because you've taken these calls.
Oh, yeah.
They actually think that you walked around the house, you looked at the roof, you peeked in the window and know they got a green kitchen. They actually think that. They don't even give you the address because they think you're the only one.
Yeah, I got your letter. You want to buy my house?
Right.
Yeah.
They don't even know that you. They don't even have the concept that you sent this letter to anybody else because it works that good.
Yeah, it's very personalized.
Now those people I send to a operator that picks the phone, a live operator that picks the phone up, says hello, like they're my cousin picking the phone.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of an answering service, but it's like somebody in the house is even picking it up.
Yeah, well, it is an answering service.
Yeah,
it's Pat Live, and there's no secret.
But they don't go, "Hi, this is Pat Live. Welcome to." They just go, "Hello."
Yeah, they go hello. They don't say Holmes or us or anything. They go hello, and then we have 6 or 8 questions that they answer. I get those emails, and then I call them back into a prospect-suspect form, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Okay. Or you could have a whole different marketing campaign, like a bandit sign or a postcard, that you want to inform people more about what you do before you talk to them, so you can send them to a free 24-hour, 7-day-a-week live recorded message.
Right.
Now my message is 6 minutes long, 5.5 minutes long.
And
I've had so many people tell me that's too long, and I just smile at them and say, "You're a suspect." because that's who they are. Because a person that really wants to listen and really is interested wants to hear all that information.
If you need to sell a house, or if you need to buy a house, if you don't spend 6 minutes, I don't want to talk to you.
Right. So it's a pre-screening process. So often my direct mail goes right to the operator. My stuff that's not as effective, like a road sign or a postcard or a flyer.
It's more a
business
that's
card.
More casting a net.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to get them warmed up, because here's what's going to happen. In my process, when we do finally make the offer, we've pre-screened them so that we know that they're qualified. We talk to them then we send them to the operator, and they pre-screen them again. So they get the free live recorded message, pre-screens them once. Then they go to the operator, and the operator asks 6 or 8 questions, and I pre-screen them again. Mm-hmm. Then I get on the telephone, and I do this prospect-suspect form that I always talk about. It's a 1-page form that has all the questions and all the information you need to know about buying a house. With this one piece of paper, you can make all the decisions if it's entirely filled out.
That's right.
Some people don't fill it all the time. But if all the blanks are filled out and you have all the questions answered on this piece of paper, you can make a very, very conscious decision on whether this person is motivated or not. And that's all it does, is it tells you if the person's motivated, and it gives you the mathematical process of the offer.
Mm-hmm. Gives you the numbers of the house, how much this, how much that.
Obviously, if you have a $200,000 house and they're paying $4,000 for a mortgage, it doesn't mathematically make sense, because when you go to sell it on a lease option, you can only get $1,700 or $1,800.
Right.
So there's certain telltales or litmus test, if you would, that tell you whether or not you can do this. Okay,
sure. And that happens. I had a $200,000 condo. They're just paying $2,000 a month.
Right.
That's just too high.
Right.
I don't know what she did, but
those deals could work. It just means that you got to do a lease option, and you're only going to pay $1,300, and they got to kick in $700 a month.
Yeah,
which will work because it's better than $2,000.
Yeah, if they're not living in it, if they're not there, and it's just sitting. Yeah,
so those deals, I have done those deals.
Yeah,
where people, so you could do a lease option with them, and it will work. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're a little tricky. You got to get a little money in escrow in case they don't pay.
But you know what you're walking into with the deal.
Right.
You're not buying that house.
Right. So the point is that when they call, your job is to make sure that they are motivated.
That will make them a prospect.
Right. So motivated just simply means, and this has taken me 4 years to come up, or 5 years to come up with this definition. So what's the definition of motivated? It's not desperate. Mm-mm. It's not desperate. Motivated just simply means they're flexible. They're willing to talk about terms and price.
Right, because otherwise, this is my price. That's it.
Right.
He's not motivated. Okay, goodbye. Sit on your house for another 6 months.
Right. So they're willing to talk about. They're flexible and willing to talk about terms and price, and maybe have a two-way communication on how it could be.
Mm-hmm. A little give and take, right?
Right. So that's all motivated means.
That's good. You've talked about flexible many times, but I don't remember if you've connected it, or at least in my head, or it takes 3 times you saying it before I connect it, but it is.
Right.
They're motivated because they want to sell the house, but they're also flexible enough that they'll work with you. Otherwise, you can't do anything with them.
Right. So the definition of motivation is they're flexible and willing to talk about price. Mm-hmm. And that they're willing to listen to you. Doesn't mean that they're going to say it, but they're willing to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, because their situation's pressing on them so much that they're willing to not just take cash. And that's okay if they want to take cash. It's just they're going to take 70 cents on a dollar minus repairs minus a wholesale profit.
That's right.
So they're going to be 40, 50, 60% value. Mm-hmm. And that sometimes is sufficient. They're like, nope, just write me a check. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Right? But not always. I mean, how do you do that? In this particular case, like I'm talking about with this girl, she's motivated. Why? Because she bought another house. In her head, she's already moved. She already knows where the bed's going in her new bedroom.
Yeah.
She already knows where the furniture's going. She already knows where the kids are going to go to school.
Yeah, she's stuck.
And now this deal blew up, and she doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So she's over leveraged on her property, and she wants to move into a new property.
Yeah, that's when people wind up moving into the new one, if they can, and they're stuck with an empty house.
Right.
And then they really go looking for you.
Right.
So she's lucky she found you before it all really blew up.
Right. So I'm going to, one way or another, at least I'm going to, but that's making an offer to a motivated seller. What's the likelihood of her saying yes to one of my offers?
Pretty good.
Pretty high, right? Isn't it better to make that offer than to go on the MLS and try to buy a $100,000 house for $30,000?
Yeah.
To somebody you don't even know? It's a ghost.
Sure. And who's going to help her with this? The people that she's already working with, the professionals, don't know how to fix it.
They came to me.
Uh-huh.
The realtor came to me.
Well, you know more. The thing with you is because you've studied the entire business, not just buying and selling the house like a realtor would, not just – I've seen you work with lawyers, and they thank you for the forms you've worked out with them, the contracts that you help them do.
Right.
I've seen that.
Right. Okay, good. So in trick number 6, it's doing some pre-screening, showing people – I mean, now you got people coming to you. So one thing that I do notice with new investors is I try to make them take the first 50 phone calls so they can realize what's going on. But by the time I get to 30 or 40 phone calls, they're burnt out. Either
burnt or, okay, I know how this works. I can turn it over to somebody else now.
So at that point, you need to pre-screen. Okay, but if you're that guy that's going to get up in the morning and write a letter to the expired listings or for sale by owners, okay, just writing letters, you can afford to take a few phone calls a week.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you're going to do that, if you're going to have the phone come to your cell phone or your house phone, do not answer the telephone. Do not answer the phone. Let it go to voicemail. Pick up the voicemail and call them when you're sitting at your desk with the prospect suspect form ready to go. Because otherwise what's going to happen, you're going to pick the phone up, you're going to be in the grocery store, and you're not going to ask the right questions, and you're going to blow the deal. What you need to do is be prepared. Have the prospect suspect form sitting in front of you and fill it out and do what the system says to do. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Because then you can make an educated decision. Okay? So if you want the prospect suspect form, I've just recently loaded, because I knew I was going to do this show, I just recently loaded it onto the flippinghouses.club /podcast, and there's a button to the right that says, I'm going to give it to you for free if you listen to this show. Okay, so the prospect suspect form I will give to you, just go there. Okay?
It's a great form. It's all right there.
It's taken years and years to get these questions down. I mean, there's been thousands and thousands of phone calls to get these questions down. So you're a fool if you don't go get it for free, because I'm going to tell you it's worth a few bucks. Okay? All right. So going on to trick number 4. How to make offers. So if you want to know how to do this, just go to flippinghouses.club. There's 2.5 hours of video broken down into 10 segments that I show you the 7 ways that I buy and sell houses. Okay? The only point that I want to make here is this. If I say to you, Peter, if you say to me you want $199,000 for your house.
Right.
And I say, if I pay you $199,000 for your house today, will you sell me the house?
And I say, sure.
Why is that not a reason that somebody would stick to me?
Why is it not a reason?
Right.
That's not a trick question, is it?
That's my point.
Yeah, because it's
rhetorical.
Yeah, because if they're saying $199, you're saying yes. No one else has said yes yet.
Right.
You're the first one who's given them their offer.
So I'm working on their motivation.
Yeah, and why say no?
And it doesn't matter what the house is worth at that point. I mean, it does matter what the house is worth, but it doesn't matter because it depends on which one of the 7 offers you get. So when they say yes, you say, okay, here's how it works. And I explain to them one of the 7 offers. Right? Like suppose it's a slot deal. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find you a buyer. I need 90 days to find the buyer. I'm going to find a buyer. I'm going to sell the house for $210,000. I'm going to collect $10,000 for deposit money. I'm going to keep the deposit money, and I'm going to make sure that they owe you $200,000. They're going to lease from you for 2 years until they can get a qualified mortgage or a favorable mortgage for them, and they're going to cash you out. Just explain a slot deal.
Yeah.
Or it could be, suppose the house is worth $175,000. and they're asking $199, and it's a free and clear house. You could tell them, okay, well, I can give you $199,000. Here's how it works.
Here's how it works.
And you just give them a free and clear offer.
I like how you put it. Here's how it works. It isn't, here's what I think, or here's, would you do this? Here's how it works. Take it or leave it, because this is how it works. Right. There isn't any other way to slice it.
The magic is in the math.
Yep.
Okay. So the point is that you just give them the offer. With a free and clear house, you can pay $200,000 for a $175,000 house. If you want to know how to do that, just go watch the videos at flippinghouses.club.
That's right.
I go through them in great lengths and explain them. I promise you will be awed, because every person that sees me do it or watches these videos is, if they're in real estate. And it's just something I'm so blessed to have, is the ability to have figured all that out. So I'm sharing it. It's all over the internet. It's all over the podcast. I'm sharing it. It's not a secret anymore. Mm-hmm. Okay? So the reason why I tell you that making offers and getting them to stick to you is because you're the only one making that offer. You're giving them what they want. So the name of my business, the real name of my business, is Connecticut Homes Are Us, LLC.
That's right.
That's the real name of my business, okay? The motto for that business, can you say it? Do you remember the motto for that business?
Oh, it was like buy your house on the date of your choice at a fair price. Yeah. And something else. So I wrote it on the sign a month or two ago.
Yeah. Good, you did good. So sell a house as is for a fair price on the date of your choice.
Yeah, I forgot the as is part.
Yeah. Sell a house as is for a fair price
on the date of your choice.
Those are all the buttons.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my slogan. Yeah, my slogan.
Because people are going to go, who's going to buy the house? It's such a mess. You know, it needs renovation. I want to renovate it. The realtor won't be able to sell it, but we'll buy it as is. Yeah. We bought the last house, or mine, 3 ago actually now, filled with stuff.
Right.
And we emptied it for the lady, as is, with all its bumps, and had to renovate it, empty it.
And on the date of her choice, she wanted to, when she was going to move to Vermont. It was this week, and then she moved it.
You let her wait. We waited 3-4 more weeks to be nice to her. You're killing me.
Stop.
Margaret, the sooner you leave, the sooner we get your money. No, you didn't even say that to her. Like, whenever you want, Margaret. And it's my first house renovate. I'm going, God, I want to get in there. I got to get that lawn done. It's getting cold. But it all worked out.
Yeah, always does.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
And it is a fair price. I realized something after a while, because you can ask the question, well, how can you give them that much money? But there's only 2 people buying and selling the house. The money's got to come from either the seller or the buyer. Somebody's got to lose. Not true.
Right.
There's a third person who ultimately buys the house, because we're professional home buyers and sellers. Yep. There's a third person who contributes some extra money to the pot. That's where the extra money comes from.
Right.
Because that's some poor sucker who can't get a mortgage.
Right.
And he's stuck in a rental someplace, sucking wind.
Right.
Now, would he rent for 2 more years for the option to buy a house, or just keep renting forever?
Right.
This is a fabulous deal for them. Right. I talked to them. They're so grateful. What kind of house do you want? Quote, anything.
Right.
Any house.
Right.
My wife is killing me. Right?
Exactly.
So there's a third person involved that contributes to the finances to make it lucrative enough for the buyer-seller at our level, for the third guy coming in. He helps.
That's
People
right.
don't think of that. They think, well, someone's going to squeeze me to make money out of me. Oh, he's professional. He's an investor. He's going to squeeze me. And we don't do that.
Right.
We can find that extra money and make everybody happy. Bizarre.
Correct. Yeah, my motto is don't pay too little, pay too much. And you get more deals.
Yep.
And when you know how to do it, when you understand that there's only 2 ways to make money in real estate, one is in equity, buy low, sell high, and the other is in cash flow. Mm-hmm. So if you want to keep all the equity, no problem, let me have the cash flow. Mm. You want the cash flow, then let me have the equity. You pick which one.
Yeah.
When you want both, we don't do a deal.
Yeah. If you want a better price, there's got to be better cash flow, or whatever. It's got to work one way or the other.
Exactly.
You have to give and take. Flexible.
Yeah. So people are going to have to be flexible with us right now, because we're at our hour mark and we're not done. So please be flexible. A couple more minutes, we'll get through this.
Okay, I'll talk less. Hit it, Bill.
So, trick number. 5. So that makes sense. Number 4 is making the right offers to the people so they stick to you. Okay.
Yeah. Watch the videos.
Flippinghouses.club. They are all there. You can get plenty of education for free. I don't charge you anything for those. Okay. Trick number 6 is finding the money.
I'm listening. I've been studying your information that you forwarded online on the private money stuff.
So here's the big news flash. The big news flash that nobody seems to get. And I've been beating this drum and beating this drum and beating this drum. There you go. And I can't seem to get fully understood. You ready?
Go for it.
Why do you need money? The only deals that you need money for is deal number 5, which is rehab and flip.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only deal you need money for. Those are the MLS deals.
Yeah.
What are you buying on the MLS for? If it's your first time and you have no dang money, don't buy any MLS. Oh, yeah, by the way, the expired listing that you're writing letters to, why do you think it expired? Probably because they're asking too much money and they're not going to come down on their price. But do you ever think that maybe you can do a terms deal with them? You can do a lease option with them, and maybe you can make your money making $400 or $500 a month. Maybe it's a free and clear house, and they're asking too much money for it, and the realtor couldn't produce the money because that's the only thing the realtor knows how to do.
Yeah,
is produce the cash. So if they bring it to the market, and the market says, then what do? Like the girl you were just talking about with me, right? She bought another house. She moves into the other house. What's the only option she has is to lease it. Okay, so how about this option? How about you lease it and don't have to worry about maintenance and repairs and the water bill and none of that. You just get your money as if you were the bank in a lease type scenario.
but that's a lease with the option to buy.
Right.
That's the total difference. It's not a rental then.
Right.
The people don't want to rent. They don't want toilets. Blah,
And
blah.
yeah, by the way, because you use your down payment money towards the option consideration and become an equity shareable partner. Equity shareable partner, get that?
Mm-hmm.
It's non-refundable. So when I give that person $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, whatever the number may be, it's non-refundable to them. Because when I sell it to my buyer, he's giving me a non-refundable deposit worth more than $2,000, $3,000, or $5,000. He's giving me 7, 8, 10, or 12.
Yeah.
That's where the money's coming from.
Sure.
So why do you need money?
That's the third person on the wheel.
What you're talking about.
That's right.
So
Where's
why
the
do you need
coming
money?
from? Yeah.
Okay? So when you first start out...
They watch too much HGTV.
Yeah, exactly.
No offense. That's all people know. People know you want to buy a house, go to the realtor, buy and sell. Go to the bank, get 20% mortgage down payment, mortgage, blah, blah, blah. That's now there's, buy and flip houses.
True.
That's true.
That is true, but you shouldn't do those your first deal.
Yeah, those are all true, but that's not the only deal. That's
Right.
my only point. Then now they learn, now you can buy and flip house. That's number 2. Well, how about the other 5?
Right.
Ways you can buy or sell a house. Wholesale, lease, there's all those other things they don't think about.
So your first few deals, until you can get going, do a slot deal or do a lease option deal or do an option deal or do a subject to deal. My first 30 or 35 deals were subject to.
Mm-hmm.
I got the deed. People gave me the deed to their house. I didn't need money. Well, sometimes I did. I had to catch up payments, 2 or 3 payments, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. That's not money.
Yeah.
Right? That's chump change.
That's startup is.
By the way, if you need to do that, that's right. And by the way, if you need to do that, if you need to borrow money like $10,000 or $5,000 or $3,000 to get a deal done because somebody wants a deposit, I can guarantee you in the realm of your friends that somebody has an IRA that will lend you that money or some retirement account that if you go to Equity Trust and make it, facilitate it correctly,
Yep.
they will lend you the money.
Would you believe I told my son about how the house is going? My son's living with me for a little while now. He's between things. And so he's seeing what's going on. I said, Dan, sign the contract on the house. Awesome, Dad. How much do you think you're going to get? Good going, Dad. And he says, I can do more deals. I just need private money. And he goes, I have blank in the bank in my investments. Oh, I could use that. Yeah, with all those penalties. Oh, no, I have a way to getting it out. You do?
Exactly.
Yeah, he has a good chunk of change, Bill.
Exactly.
So
you buy a house subject to and you're going to do $10,000 worth of work. A person that has a retirement account that's 40 years old, in your case, kid's not even 30 years old, right?
34.
He's 34 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So the point is he's got a chunk of money. We'll say 50, 100 grand, whatever the number is, right?
That's right.
So he's got, say, 100 grand in there. He can't touch that money till he retires.
Yeah.
So you have all that time to give him interest.
And he has a Roth IRA.
Perfect.
That I can show him how to transfer that to a self-directed Roth IRA.
So the fact that you say that you're not able to do this business because you don't have money is bullshit. It's in your own head.
Well, you're the one who doesn't have the money, but a lot of people have money.
Right.
Ask them.
So let me ask you this question, Peter, and then we're going to move on and get the hell out of here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I had $1 million house and I was going to jail because I did something stupid,
Yeah.
like I was, I got caught for DWI,
Yep.
and I continued to drive, and I did it a couple times, and the law says I can't do that,
That's right.
and I'm going to jail now for 24 months, and I don't have any money, and I got $1 million house, or I don't have enough money to support this house for 2 years while I'm in jail because I'm not earning now.
Right.
And I said to you, Peter, I need to sell my house because I need to give my family money to live while I'm gone. I need $250,000. Nothing wrong with the house.
Mm-hmm.
A lot wrong with the situation.
Oh, sure.
Nothing wrong with the house. It's a pretty house. He just needs to give his family money. They're going to go live with their parents, and they just need money to live.
He's flexible.
It's free and clear.
Right? Oh, it's free and clear, too.
These things happen.
Yeah.
This is a real deal. I know someone this happened to. It didn't happen to me, but I know someone this happened to.
It sounded terrible when you said it. Now that it's true, it's really horrible.
Okay? What would you do? Do you have $250,000?
No, but that's such a sweet deal. I think I could put it together.
Perfect. That's exactly how every one of your deals should be in your head. I gotta find somebody's got to have $250,000 for a $1 million piece of property. This is even if I sold it for $500,000, half price, I'm making $250,000.
It would sell fast too. Well, I've learned things working with you. Like there's some people who are businessmen, some people are investors.
Yep.
So if we're business people, we're putting the deals together. We're not the money people.
Right.
Other guys are the investors that can't put the deals together, but they got money to spend someplace. So
That's right.
It's two different jobs.
That's right.
So they're looking for you to help them spend their money and make money on it.
Right. So money's not an issue, but there are times if you're doing flipping, there are times you got to get money, and there's a whole system on how to do that, and I teach that.
Yep.
Okay. So the last one. So we good on money?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got your documents. I've been downloading them at home, reading them stuff. I'm at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to work on that the first of the year.
Uh-huh.
You and I are going to actually put together a training program on how to get money. I'm going to do it with you, and we're going to record it, and then we're going to share it with everyone.
Awesome. I love being the guinea pig. I get to taste the chocolate first.
Yes. Step 6, how to sell your property for big chunks of cash. So I want you to get that this is a very, very complicated, very, very difficult, very, very hard part of the process. This is the hardest part of the process. Not. You ready?
Yeah.
Here's why it works. Here's the ad. House for sale. No bank qualifying.
So these are for your leases.
No.
For what?
Well, it's not a rehab retail deal.
No. But
It's for the rest of them, though.
oh. Well, those would be leases, though, right?
Some of them.
Okay.
Some of them not. I've advertised no bank qualifying. People come to me and they're qualified for an FHA mortgage.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
When you sell a house that says no bank qualifying, what are you going to get?
Phone calls.
Everything.
Yeah. But what's the percentage of people who can't get a mortgage right now?
81%.
81%.
Of the United States is not mortgageable as of the end of 2016, beginning of 2017.
Yeah.
81%.
I just talked to two people looking at one of my houses that I'm selling on a lease. One is kind of typical. Oh, we have maybe $8,000 to put down, and we can make a payment of $1,500, maybe $1,600. The other guys, I have $400,000 in a 401k, and I can give you $40,000 down on the house, but I don't qualify because my credit score is too low.
Right.
Can you imagine that? He's got a good job, iron worker, he has that kind of money to put down and can't get a mortgage. He could buy the house outright if he wanted.
Yep.
Crazy.
So we're not going to cover this today because now we're an hour and 10 minutes into the show. But realize that there is a whole system, just like buying houses, where we actually have people call up, we pre-screen them, and we only talk to the people that are qualified. And just to give you some reality on that is if you do what I tell you to do, which you did, you're likely to get, if you do all of the things that I talk about, you're likely to get 80 or 100 phone calls. Probably 30 or 40 people through the house, and whittle that down to about between 5 and 10 people that will be interested in buying a house. You want to talk to the 5 or 10, not the rest.
Sure.
Okay, so the way that I do it and the system I do with the pre-screening and the signs and the mail, and they go through the system, and they do not get your phone number until it's time for them to put an application in. So you have no way of talking to you. I answer all their questions. They listen to recordings. They have documents. They walk through the house. I don't show the house. I allow them in the house. I have a whole system that's completely protected. I've been using it for 10 years, and I've never had a problem with it. Imagine that. I let people in my house without me being there.
Yeah.
And I have a way to do that.
I did it.
Yeah. And it works.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's how you sell a house. Okay. So did I deliver what was promised? The 6 tricks that guarantee success for flipping houses.
But, Bill, they sound like sensible business tactics.
They are.
The trick is to not be a dumbass or be a dumbass and just follow the instructions. Men, this goes to you. Follow the instructions.
Right. No testosterone allowed.
Read the instructions.
Let the ladies talk you into following the instructions.
Attach railroad track A to railroad track B. Attach coupler. Place engine on track. Start.
Wow. Where did you get that from?
Christmas when I was 7 years old. My uncle, my
boy.
godfather, my father couldn't put the train set together. Couldn't follow the instructions. It's a man's thing.
So we just flipped from podcast to therapy, I could tell.
Did I get emotional on that? Where's my train set?
All right, Peter. We went 12 minutes over, but I think it was well worth it for everybody. I apologize for that. We goofed around in the beginning for 5 or 10 minutes. That's why we were over. But
there was some useful information, like finding our training and more information, and the other connections, emailing us. That's useful
just
stuff.
because I've had so much response from it, so I have to cover that. And for those of you that aren't looking for that, I apologize, but I think you understand. So there we go.
Thanks, Bill.
So that's this week's show. We're going to end it there. And next week, we got some really cool stuff for you. So make sure you stay tuned.
I'll be back.
Perfect. So if you need to get a hold of us, you can go to info@flippinghouses.club. That's info@flippinghouses.club. Or you can get the free modules that we're talking about at flippinghouses.club. Or if you want to get all the other goodies we have for you, just go to flippinghouses.club/podcast. There's all kinds of stuff there. Okay? Or if you don't want to do any of that, just tune in next week and see what we got for you then.
They must be listening just for the jokes, Bill.
Is that what it is?
If they're not doing anything that you're telling them, they must be listening to my jokes.
I'm going to play the master joke on you. I'm going to tell Emma, can you set up an email that says joke@flippinghouses.club? And we're going to promote that pretty soon. That's going to be the final joke.
Oh, no. Help.
Over and out, Pete. See you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.